Jai Shriman Narayan.
Jai Shri Narayan.
Jai Shriman Narayan.
Jai Shri Narayan.
Jai Shriman Narayan.
Jai Shri Narayan.
I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagadguru Sudarshan Acharya Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. We continue on our discourse titled The Soul, and I'm going to use this discourse today to reflect back to 2017. How many of you remember when we celebrated the 1000th birthday of Lord Sri Ramanuj in 2017? Vasan, you don't remember? I don't see your hand up. Vasan's hand is pointing that way. Nirali, you remember? So, when Lord Ramanuj, he celebrated his 1000th birthday, it was at Kampara.
Yes.
You remember we did a street walk. Remember? We pulled a chariot, and it wasn't Lord Ramanuj in the chariot, it was me. Prince is trying to, in my biography, he's trying to use the word, I am an incarnation of Lord Sri Ramanuj, and I scratched it and I warned him not to use it. He's trying to check now, who's this guru? Because he did a lot of research. To endorse the biography, he has to provide the facts, not my story. Alright? So, we started this program a long time ago. 2017 to 2024 is how many years? 2025. 5 and 3, 8 years. 8 years ago, we started this project. It's not something that we just started for my biography. It is long in the making. And the reason it became successful, Nirali, is that Guru has been consistent. Guru has been consistent through storms. So many things were thrown at me. You and Vasan know. And I've always been alone. I don't have 10 Swamis on this side and 10 Swamis on this side. I've always been alone. But because I had committed myself to the Supreme Lord, I didn't care what was thrown. You know, the first day, how many of you, wasn't the first day, I don't think Nirali was here when we walked down this ashram land. Was here Nirali day 1? You came. First day you was here. When there was a big bush, this building there was a canopy, there was a forest here. If you go outside later and see that forest on that end, and if you go to Makutir and see this forest on this end, the entire forest embraced this land. We could hear the M19. We didn't know how far it was. we went to the undergrowth and we found that stream down there. We thought it was a few kilometers away. And we cut the bush, we saw it just down the end. You understand? So many people, we had many devotees that time, wasn't? When we came down here, there were many devotees. And then they slowly started disappearing because they thought the Guru was mentally retarded to take this place. No driveway, a deep ravine halfway down the driveway. We had to hold each other and come down in a single file and push right round. You can see where Lord Narayan is now, his Murti. At same position, I told Lord Narayan, if you are testing me, you're making a mistake. Okay? I told a big man, if you are testing me, you're making a mistake. Who I told that to Nabi? The biggest, so there's no one bigger than Lord Narayan. Because there was a stench. 3 sewage manholes were over flooding. One there by the Goshala, one by our kitchen, and one next to the driveway. They were, imagine a forest, a canopy of trees, and Stivashi is laughing, so she wants to be, long since Stivashi came into my discourses. Alright? And underneath that canopy of trees, in the heat, 3 sewers are overflowing. For years. For how you think that smell was? And that's when I stood on one of those sewers. I made Tibeshni stand on another sewer, and I made Vasan take a photo. Remember Vasan? So I told a big O, and y'all, it's a lesson. The reason why Gurus give discourse is whatever he has experienced, you need to take that part and apply it to your life. So you can't talk to the big man, and you can't tell him, let's take it on. You can't tell him, let's take it on. And look at the ashram today. We had over 100 big functions. How many thousands of people have come to this ashram? Huh? Everyone has come here. Black, white, green, blue, yellow. Because I took the big O on, I told him, if you're testing me, I'm going to win. So when you have challenges in life, this forest is a challenge in your life, put to you by the Supreme Lord. He tests you, and you need to take him on. What you need to do? Take him on, tell him, Lord Narayan, you're not going to win this one. What are you going to tell him? Lord Narayan, you're not going to win this one. If you're testing me, I'm going to make it. I am going to make it. Take all these forests that appear in your life. Take it as a challenge by the Supreme Lord. Whatever pain you go through, God is testing you. I never succumbed to His. I did not succumb. I went through hell and back. There was a point. There was a point that the person who said he donated this land, we found out that he was not the owner of the land, and we had already spent 1 million. We had already spent 1 million. And whilst this story was still in the air, we spent another 1 million. We spent? Why? Who will do that without a title deed? Who will do that without a title deed? Who? Where can you see Lord Narayan here? Sit up. Will anyone put up a big building like this without a title deed, without knowing whether you're going to win the battle? There was a court case for this. We had lawyers' letter to vacate this place within 3 weeks. Now that lawyer got no, one hand is not working. Who wrote that letter? His one hand is not working. We want him. We want him. Because there's only one title deed holder. How many? Lord Narayan owns this planet and this world. And I had full confidence that the title deed holder will give the land to the rightful occupant. To the rightful occupant. So we went through hell and back. And that is the definition of spirituality. I hear a lot of people saying, I'm very, very spiritual. You all heard people saying, I'm so spiritual. Friends, you heard people say? Yeah. So, talking about title deeds. Talking about title deeds. Title deed is only a man-made demarcation in paper. When the soul is in the womb of his mother, he or she only comes with their karmas for that lifetime. They have no possessions. They own nothing. And when the soul leaves, how many of you went to the cemetery and saw the soul leaving with his car, with his money? Anyone saw that in any cemetery? And anyone went to hospital at the birth of a child and you saw the child came with a mansion, came with a car, came with some credit cards? How many children were born with credit cards, cars, degrees? Have you seen that? So you came, it's natural, you came with, you stay here and you go with, it means you owned. Because if the only thing you own is your karma, the only thing you come in this universe is your karma, and the only thing you leave this universe is your karma. So you own nothing. Do you understand? So it becomes very, very interesting when we have this wars, Palestine and Israel. How old is Palestine? How old is Israel? And how old is this universe? Universe is 155 trillion years old. where was Palestine, where was Israel, and who was the title deed holder of this planet Earth, because all these incidences are happening on Earth and we live on Earth. So let's discuss Earth. We'll earn nothing by discussing Mars and Venus and Saturn. So the reason I started this discourse with this background is we want to discuss all the conflicts of the world. And every conflict in the world has something to do with land. Has something to do with land. Currently in South Africa, what is the conflict? Land. Is it not? 13% of the land is being used by the indigenous people of this country. Where's the 87%? The West owns the 87%, yes? Or they are controlling 87%, yes or no? So we need to understand that. And as I said, my discourses must have reference. Must have reference. It must be like an academic paper in the university. Reference. And what systems we use to ensure the paper is academic? Rigor. What rigor means? It must be able to make common sense. Common sense. So it's always about black and white, is it not? Everything on this planet Earth now is about black and white. But where did black and white start? Did God create 4 races? How many races does God create? God only created the race of humanity. God only created the race of humanity. That is all. Who is a European? Who is a white? Who is a Indian? Who is African? From where and how did these distinctions come? Did God create Africans, Indians, coloreds and whites? God created a human race. Who heard of Parshuram? Who is Parshuram Sita? I don't want you to think, I want you to tell me. Parshuram is one of the incarnations of the Supreme Lord. He descended on earth because the Kshatriyas were messing around. You know the Kshatriyas? There are 4 social orders. 4 social orders. The Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas and the Sudras. So Parshuram took his birth to get rid of the Kshatriyas. And he went around the earth, I think they say 21 times, And the only time he didn't kill the Kshatriya is when they were in a wedding. If they were in a wedding. So when the other Kshatriyas escaped, they escaped to the cold weather places to escape death. So the sun is responsible for the different races. Who? What sun? Now what sun? The sun in the sky that's shining now is responsible for the different races. Not God. Who's it? The sun in the sky is responsible for the different races. There is a chemical that gives you color in the skin. I think it's called melanin. You heard of melanin? You can Google it, I'm not too sure, but it is this chemical that gives you color in the skin. Your proximity to the sun, gives you the color of your skin. As you go further from the sun, this sun is not able to activate this chemical in your skin, and I think you get vitamin E. D. You get vitamin D from the sun, which lightens your skin. I want you to hear me nicely. So the sun is responsible for the color of your skin. And I'm going to say this with love. But have you seen an Indian European? Have you seen an African European? No. Haven't. You see an Indian, some parts of the body is European on the skin, some parts are Indian. Have you not seen? Huh? Have you seen Africans like that, Prince? Some part of their body is white. They can catch a tan. You understand? So, a chemical has determined your race in your body. A chemical has determined your race in your body. So let's come back to Parshuram. White-skinned people, who we now refer to as the West, white-skinned people are here because of Parshuram. Lord Parshuram, when he was trying to get rid of the Kshatriyas, they went to places to hide. They went to places to hide, and that will be in Europe. What is the weather condition in Europe? Cold and snowy and miserable. What is the rate of penetration of the sun rays to the people's skin in Europe? Very little. Do you understand? But I'm saying there were Kshatriyas. What is the duty of a Kshatriya? Kshatriyas fight. They are astute politicians. Yes? They fight They are astute politicians and soldiers and administrators and knowledge how to run things. Do you find that in the DNA of these West? Do you find that in the DNA of the Western world?
Yes.
They are rulers. They are warriors. They are fighters. It's in their DNA. They were Kshatriyas, bona fide Kshatriyas. This happened in a time long before Dwapara Yuga. This happened somewhere in Treta Yuga. In Treta Yuga, they were genuine Kshatriyas. Their DNA was Kshatriya. In Dwapara Yuga, everyone is a Sudra until you align yourself to the next societal division. But in Treta Yuga, a Kshatriya is a Kshatriya, is born with the Kshatriya DNA, a Brahmin is a Brahmin, a Vaisva is a Vaisva, and a Sudra is a Sudra. You're born through those channels. Now we are all intermixed, aren't we? So what happened to the DNA? All intermixed. You understand? So this is why these fair-skinned people started conquering the world. Why they started conquering the world? It's in their nature, it's in their DNA, it's in their makeup. They are soldiers, they are fighters, they are warriors, they are political administrators. Now, on the other hand, Bharat, use the word Bharat. Bharat means India. And friends, what is the real name of Africa? How are you going to make a land claim if you don't use the real name of this continent? How are you going to get this continent back, friends?
Kuru.
Huh?
Kuru.
What's the name?
Kuru.
Spell it?
K-U-R-U.
Kuru. Africa's original name is Kuru. People in Africa and people in Bharat were not Kshatriyas. Were not Kshatriyas. They were spiritual people. They were spiritual people living in spiritual law. And what is spiritual law? There was no jails in these two continents. There were no jails in these two continents. Why? Why were there no jails, no courts, and no police stations? This is a Western construct. Why? Yes. Respect started in the family. The oldest member in the family was the president of the family. And if he said left and you wanted to go right, where you must go? Left. Is that not discipline? Then it started in a unit. Family, village, district, province, country. If every house maintains spirituality, that is spirituality. What is spirituality? Following righteous commands. Following righteous commands. There was no money. There was no money. If Satish Bhai wanted to eat chicken, he'll take 4 bags of potatoes and give those people that got chicken. You understand? Don't have to go to Checkers, Jessica, and buy that fresh cut hard cooking chicken. You just saw a black chicken there, a nice rooster. Imagine Jessica in those days, Satish Bhai, putting the potato basket on her head, going to the neighbor, and then doing a butter. How she would have examined the chicken to make sure the potatoes are equal to the chicken. Alright? Just keep that in your memory. So this is how Africa and Bharat, or Africa and India, or Bharat and Kuru was living on that time. And when these Western people came to these two continents, they were shocked to see harmony. This is in the biography, this is in the diary of those people that came and found Africans and Indians in those continents. It's in the diaries. They were shocked that there was perfect harmony in these nations. We're not going to use the word tribe, because it's this people that call people tribes. If you're a Zulu, you're a Zulu nation. Your nationality is Zulu. You're a Zulu nation. Tribes is to demean you. Yes or no? Yes. If align the word tribe to people, what it does. It's a downer. Imagine aligning you to a tribe. Is there a white tribe anywhere? Friends, you ever heard of a white tribe? But there's only Indian tribes, there's Khoisan tribes, there's Khalid tribes, there's African tribes, but there's no white tribes. You understand why it was deliberately put into your consciousness. It was deliberately inserted in your consciousness to believe you are inferior to the white man. Yes or no? And this is how they started their colonization. Which nation is the custodian of Christianity? No. Rome. What was Rome practicing before Christianity? Who were the Romans worshipping before Christianity? Who? The sun. Rome was worshipping the sun. Bharat was worshipping the, Africa was worshipping the, here again, Rome was worshipping the sun, Bharat was worshipping the, and Africa was worshipping the sun. Did Jesus Christ ever place his foot in Rome? Logic. He said, Prince, we must use rigor. Is rigor logic and commonsensical? Alright? Jesus Christ never put his foot in Rome. You all heard of the Vatican. If we can enter the Vatican, which I hope in my lifetime we do, we do. Inside the Vatican is the real Bible. Is there? Inside the Vatican is the real artifacts of the real Christ. Real artifacts of the real Christ, and you'll find that Christ was a black man. You'll find Christ was a black man. Now, any academic study you make, you must link it to, reference it and evidence it. Now let's look at the white man. Let's look at the white man. When he saw India, initially he wanted to trade. When he saw Africa, initially he wanted to trade. But when they saw the abundance and prosperity, then they didn't want to trade. Trade means they come with what they have, and they had guns, and then they take a few spices from it. Yes, that's trade. But when the white man saw all the prosperity in India and all the prosperity in Africa, he wanted it. He wanted it. Did he take it?
Yes.
Is there evidence that he took India? Is there evidence that he took Africa?
Yes.
Is there evidence he's still taking from Africa?
Yes.
So is the Guru right? That the white man is a thief? Is a thief. If he can steal your gold, your diamond, your precious stone, precious material, your coal, you think he won't steal your God? If a white man can steal everything from your continent, you think he can't steal your God? You think he won't steal your God? Then you think he won't doctor the real Bible for his grand theft? You think he won't doctor the real Bible for his grand theft? He's a rogue. He'll do anything. And whilst he's telling you, go to church every Sunday so you can go to heaven, what he's doing on earth. So you go to church every Sunday, you come back home in the 5 days waiting to go to church the next Sunday, hoping to go to heaven, and he is having a hell of a time with all your gold, your diamond, everything. Yes or no? Do you understand? So this is the absolute truth of the status quo of our life at this point in time. This is the absolute truth. So this Westerners, you see them rallying anywhere. You ever saw a European rally anywhere? You didn't. Because they work in secret. They work in secret. If you ask them who you voted for, you think they'll tell you who they voted for? They have the strongest unity. How big is Europe? What is the European population in this world? From that 8 billion humans on this world, in this world, what is the population of the European? See, unfortunately, I do not research my discourses. I download. I think this number is important. How many of them got up and told their own people, stop plundering Africa? Don't you think they're supposed to start supporting the plundering in Africa, anti-plundering in Africa? Don't you think? As humans, the Western world as humans, supposed to rally behind those that are plundering this country. But you think you hear them? And every time you hear the West talking about Africa, in what tone do they talk about Africa? Demeaning. Who created the word witch? They use the word witch when associated with African spirituality, don't they?
Yes.
Prince? They say a Sangoma is a witch doctor. Do they not say?
Yes.
If an African want to be spiritual, they say an African is a witch doctor. So they continue to remove the African from its own roots and anchor the African in a false Bible. In a false Bible. So that the African every Sunday waits for heaven after death. Whilst he is alive, he is suffering. Who is the most suffering people on this planet today? Can't the world see that? Can't the West see that? And can't somebody start doing something about it? Because they continue to divide. See, if we're going to get a popular leader in South Africa now, who's going to fight for African spirituality, what is the West going to do? Either kill him or buy him. Colonel Gaddafi, you heard of Colonel Gaddafi? You know why the West killed him?
To shut him up.
Yes, because he was promoting what I'm promoting now. In his country, everything was for free. Do you know that? Hospitals were for free, education was for free, he paid your university fee. How can he be a dictator? Won't you love a dictator like that?
Yes.
Huh? Won't you love a dictator who gave you free education? Everything in the country was for free. And yet America took him down. They took him down because he was promoting oneness on the African continent. He wanted the entire continent to do what he is doing. So the West took him out. Is this the status quo?
Yes.
So if we sit in our mosques, in our temples, in our churches, and we lie to ourselves in these congregations every week, how will we prosper? How can we prosper? Why are we not prospering in South Africa? At the moment, right now, why are we not prospering in South Africa after 30 years of democracy? Democracy is not democracy unless it is spiritual. Democracy is not democracy unless it is aligned with spirituality. Because this word democracy is a lie. It is a lie. 2017 elections, who's supposed to win that elections? At the ANC conference. 2017, who's supposed to win the election? Which two candidates stood for the elections? Not Zuma, Mrs. Zuma, Dlamini Zuma. She won the elections. Do you all know that? And then what happened?
Entered into an agreement.
CR17. You heard of CR17? And there was a deputy president. I never saw him in the ANC in my life, only when he became deputy. What's his name?
Yes.
Huh? Mabuza. Mabuza had his people that changed the dynamics. How many billion was involved in the CR17? How many billion? So these Westerners paid Ramaphosa to pay these people so that he can be the state president. Do you all know that? So they're still plundering the state, aren't they?
Yes.
They continue to plunder the state. And this is the reason I've taken on African spirituality. This is the reason I've taken on African spirituality to conscientize Africa. One day Africa is going to rise. One day Africa is going to rise. In my lifetime I'm planting the seed. In my lifetime I'm planting the seed so that Africa rises. But the seed has been planted already in South Africa. In 2021 I planted the seed in South Africa. So the strategy, modus operandi, Jessica, of the West is to divide. People into factions. They did that in India. As long as India is concentrating in India, Pakistan, they continue to loot. But now India is over, India is under a proper bona fide government. Alright? And even if you look at the map of Africa, have you seen the map of Africa? How big Africa looks on the map? And how big Africa is? Can you see this, people? Africa is the second largest continent in the world. But on the map, how big it looks? You can take the whole of India and put it in Africa. You can take a few other big countries and fill them up in Africa. That's how Africa But they want the Africans to see their continent is small, wide. Look at the colonizing mentality of the West. They want Africans to see Africa so small when Africa is so big. Almost 4 times its size. Did you know that? That they stole God and they reduced the size of the continent from Africa. This is the West for you. This is the West. You think we should rise against these atrocities?
Yes.
Or you think we must allow them to continue? What is the name of the sun god, Prince? In African. In Karaism, the sun god is called Ra. I'm going back very deep. In Karaism, the name of the sun is Ra. And in Sanskrit, what does Ra mean? Friends, Sanskrit name for Ra is light. And Karaism, the spirituality is, they believe in light. In Karaism, they believe in the light, and the source of all light is the sun. Yes or no? So we're going to start putting all our knowledge together. 1949 riots. Who instigated it?
Once.
Why?
Create division between the blacks.
Create division between black and Indian. What will happen to their security while they're stealing? Do you understand? So I'm going opposite to what the West has done. I'm going to unite the Africans, I'm going to unite the Indians, I'm going to unite the Coloreds, the Khoisan, the Karas, and we're going to turn this whole thing around. You think it's possible?
Yes.
You think we got the numbers?
Yes.
You think we got the technology?
Yes.
And you think we got God behind us?
Yes.
So once again now, I want you, are we in agreement that there is only one creator? Are we in agreement there is only one creator?
Yes.
For how long will God allow the Bible to be used to make 8 billion, to make the inhabitants of Africa suffer? Can a true God allow His scripture, that Jesus which they are portraying in the Bible, would that Jesus allow Africa to be raped?
Never.
Why hasn't that Jesus stopped Africa from being raped? That one in the Bible, Michelangelo's son. Why? Why, Prince? Because he's not the true Jesus. If he was the true Jesus, he wouldn't have allowed the Bible to be used to steal the entire continent. Yes or no? Which God will do that? But I'm not saying I'm saying that Jesus Christ which is portrayed in the Bible today is not the real Jesus Christ. The real Jesus Christ exists. He exists. Sanskrit, Yeshu, means the enlightened one. Sanskrit, Yeshu, means the enlightened one. And when the real Jesus was born, astrology was used, and they didn't change the whole Bible. They continuously changed the Bible to suit a political Western agenda for colonization in the world. Do you understand? That real Lord Jesus Christ, He was found through astrology. Is astrology a perfect science?
Yes.
And 3 sages went from India to Egypt. Where was Jesus Christ born? The story was taken to another place. Okay, I want you to understand like this. Black people have been made inferior in the world from the time you are born. In your consciousness, are black people made inferior, African blacks?
Yes.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, when I grew up, Prince, if we saw a black person walking down the road, our people told us, hey, Bamba. That is, didn't have the word Bamba. When you grew up as a child, when you saw an African person, you was conscientized to see that a black man is an animal. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes.
We need to address this. A black is an uncivilized animal. An African black is an uncivilized animal. Where is this coming from? How did we get conscientized in this way? Black is uneducated, black is unpopular, and a black is close to an animal. This is how the world has been conscientized for centuries. But do you know the truth? When these Westerners came into Africa and India, Africa and India were the most civilized continents in the world. Do you know that? Do you know black people had proper structures? Do you know Indians had proper structures? Whilst these Westerners were using the bush as a toilet, they should bath once a month. Blacks and Indians had bathrooms. They had a huge system. And I'm saying this as a scientific truth. Archaeology is finding all this in Africa and India. They haven't found a toilet system in Europe yet. They have not found through archaeology, they have not found these systems. The West was uncivilized. And Africa was a civilized continent. When did Lord Krishna enter the material atmosphere? 5,000-6,000 years ago? When was gold discovered in India? When gold mining started in India? And if you go into the Mahabharata, gold crowns were worn even before Lord Krishna. And when they went under the sea, they found artifacts 5,000 years before Lord Krishna came on into India. From where was that gold? Gold mining started in Africa. And Indians are the largest consumers of gold. They only started mining about 5,000 years ago, or just before 5,000 years, they found their own gold in India. They were trading with Africa. If Africans could mine gold 6,000-7,000 years ago, then you think they are animals? You think they are primitive? You think they don't have intelligence? Is there evidence of trade between India and Africa?
Yes.
Do you understand? So we need to turn this thing around. We need to turn all this around. And it is a chemical that is only making our skin different. It is a chemical, got nothing to do with God. Got nothing to do with God. Lord Jesus Christ didn't have blue eyes. Michelangelo's son. They painted Michelangelo's son and presented him as Lord Jesus Christ. So I'm saying, if you go into the Vatican, all these artifacts are hidden there. Everything that I'm saying is hidden in the Vatican. Do we not have high-ranking black pastors,
Yes.
bishops? Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Which bishop had more spirituality than Archbishop Desmond Tutu in the world in his time? Do a historical check, do a research. But in his time, how many whites became the Pope who were underqualified than him? Archbishop Desmond Tutu fought apartheid, didn't he?
Yes.
Is that not proper credentials in Christianity to be a Pope? Why wasn't he a Pope? You think they'll ever, until the Vatican is searched and seized, there'll never be a black Pope? Do you know that? Why? Because the real Bible is there. The real Bible is there in the Vatican. When they stole the religion, they stole the Bible. And there's a lot of artifacts that they stole that corroborate what I'm saying is there. It is there. So African spirituality is matriarchal. That the word, Prince? Matriarchal. It means everything comes from the mother. In Sanatana Dharma, nature is Prakriti. Nature is Prakriti. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I think in chapter 8, that he inserts the souls into the womb of Mother Nature. He inserts the souls into the womb of Mother Nature. This planet Earth Who's the superintendent of this planet? Mother Durga. Mother Durga. So at that position, is African spirituality and Sanatana Dharma not saying the same thing? Is it not exactly the same? How did it become the same? Because we are one people and you can only have one spirituality. Have you ever heard the word European spirituality? Why?
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. When Europeans want to get spiritual, they run to the east. In the Kumbh Mela, Europeans of the highest, the richest, every white man who deserves to be known was at the Kumbh Mela, was he not?
Yes.
Because for them to get spiritual, they go to the East. And the Eastern spirituality and the African spirituality is exactly the same. Eastern spirituality, African spirituality is exactly the same. All of you understand? So who's the Suras and who's the Asuras? Because we were born to think. All of us were born to think that our Gora Bhais, you know Gora Bhais?
Yes.
Vasan, you know Gora Bhai? Our white brothers. Gora means white in Hindi. Our Gora Bhais are there and our African Bhais are there. But is that the truth?
No.
It's the other way around. Who's a bigger rogue? A man in a suit and tie that steals your millions, or a person walking down past ashram, see my wheelbarrow and steal it? Who's a bigger rogue? That man in the white man in the suit and tie is stealing every day. He's sitting in one high office somewhere in Joburg. He got no time to eat his sandwich. He take 2 bites, put it down, he got a phone call, take another 2 bites, the coffee is gone cold. That man was living a miserable life as a CEO. Every day he's stealing. His whole life is a count of stealing. Do you understand? It's because of him stealing so much that our African brothers are stealing our wheelbarrows, our copper pipes. That man is making this man a rogue because he's taking what belongs to this man. And this man has to steal to survive. They're not stealing to survive. They are stealing to suppress the absolute truth. They are stealing to suppress the absolute truth. And our black man steals, our Indian steals, our everyone steals, is because they have taken the cream of the crop. And for survival purposes, people steal. The West don't have to steal. Do they have to steal?
No.
If any 2 countries in Africa is fighting, any 2 countries in Africa is fighting, you must know one of the countries was visited by the West. One of the countries, the West is always involved. So we need to reclaim the dignity of our African brothers and sisters on the African continent. And the Sri Narayan Dham is starting the process when?
No. 3:17.
Tomorrow, we'll be sitting at a G20 preliminary meeting. And I don't care if these G20 leaders don't sign my biography, Satish. I'm going to whack them. And this is part of the biography. This is part of the biography. So the African Revolution has begun. As soon as I land in Pretoria tonight, we're leaving tonight. We're leaving tonight. And when we come back, everything will be in motion. So even in your personal lives, look at how big things the Guru tackled. Nirali? How big thing I have tackled in this couple of years. I tackle it to the confidence of my Guru. And I tell the world everything before I do it. And I'm always successful in whatever I say. Why? Because I'm 100% disciple of my, and you can be 100% disciple of your, and you can tackle anything. Your things are this big. My thing is size of this planet Earth. And if I can win the Earth, why you can't win a small thing, you know? You understand? Why you can't win one atom of what I'm winning? And just through a simple procedure. My procedure is very simple. I follow my Guru. In principle, I don't do everything right. No human can do everything right, not even a Guru. Not even a Guru. Yesterday, today I gave Prince his breakfast 1 hour late. How long? Yeah, I don't know, I must have been saying, hey, what happened? But I was busy proofreading. Alright, so even me, I'm imperfect. So you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect, but you must have the perfect loyalty. You must have the perfect loyalty. When I was not a disciple, but I had perfect loyalty, whatever wrong I was doing, I was telling Guruji. Whatever wrong I was doing, I was telling Guruji. You understand? Please, if all of you all come and tell me you're wrong, I won't make it in the G20. I've got big work to do there. Don't tell me you're wrong, personally, alright? But when you're doing it, just say I'm doing wrong. I'll give you an example, Nirali and Satish together. When you dish out your chicken, say, sorry Acharyaji, I know I'm not supposed to be eating this, but I'm eating it because I'm used to it. One day I'll give it. That's what that is why I was 3 days before going to India, I stopped eating it. So I know it's not a easy thing, but I kept communicating that. I kept communicating, sorry I'm doing wrong, I know it's wrong, I'm doing wrong, please forgive me, help me one day to take my wrong way. You can still remain loyal, your loyalty is not broken, yes or no? Your loyalty is still there and you acknowledging your wrong. And one day, will your wrong not leave you? Yeah. I supposed to have my last meat on Emirates. I want you to taste that food on that plane. So in Dubai, up until I reached Delhi, I was going to eat whatever the plane offered. Okay? But 3 days before that, I just couldn't take the next piece in. So meat leaves you. You understand? But you have to talk to it, Nirali. As waiting. When Nirali finishes off with the chicken, there's nothing for the dog. There's nothing for the dog, right? So, look at Ruki, how she is enjoying. Nirali is thinking, the mother told me. I know that chicken stories, Nirali. Kukruku stories. Guru knows. Alright? So, just have confidence and have loyalty even in the worst of times. So even the lawyers came and told us, leave in 3 weeks' time and give the keys back to the ashram. When we came here, this ashram had no doors.
No keys.
No doors. No keys. It was a dilapidated bush and a forest. And after I made it like this, then the man come and tell me, give him the keys. And he gave us time to leave. Alright? And we told that attorney the truth. The attorney didn't want to listen. He lost one hand.
Now he can't hold his own keys.
And now the attorney can't even hold his keys anymore. Alright? But because I was loyal and I had full belief and confidence. That's all you need to do to be spiritual. That is called spirituality. That is called spirituality. Not going to church, mosque, temple, ashram. That is not spirituality. That is a religious enactment. Spirituality is from inside you. It starts inside. You are the spirit. The word spirituality comes from your soul. Spirituality comes from your soul. To be spiritual, you need a master. So similarly, in the black tradition, they give everything to their ancestors. But it's not only the family ancestors. Ancestors have two meanings in African spirituality. One is the ancestor, your biological ancestor, and the other ancestor are the teachers of that society, Prince. Who? The teachers of the nation. So in African spirituality, you get the Sangoma. I'm giving you an example. The Sangoma takes care of the spirituality of that nation, yes? So when you connect to your ancestors, you also connecting to your spiritual masters. And that's where the guru-disciple relationship comes in. Do you understand? So the guru-disciple relationship is also in the black spirituality. Eventually spirituality is just one. But in the context of awakening African spirituality, I have to use the word African spirituality. Otherwise, I'm going to be accused of promoting Sanatana Dharma to blacks. You understand? But one day it will be the same. But for now, to open up this revolution, I'm linking everything that I know to black spirituality. So let's see how far we can go with this. And all of y'all are soldiers in this. All of y'all, each and every one of you are soldiers in this. That is why I told Prince. Prince wanted me to give him gratitude. Not gratitude, what's the next one? Acknowledgement. Yeah, so I want to put everyone who is currently in this ashram. Jessica, everyone who is currently in this ashram, I want their names and their surnames. I want to put it in the acknowledgement, because by you coming to the ashram regularly and timelessly, you are promoting this discourse that I'm having. When the ashram is empty, I can't have this discourse. By you coming to this ashram, you promoting my mission, aren't you? all of you who comes to the ashram, aren't you promoting this? So everyone that is current, you'll have your names there. And those that left, I'll also acknowledge them, but because they're not here, I won't put their names. Do you understand? You think it's fair?
Yes.
But I'll acknowledge everyone who started in my first satsang in 2013 in the school, right up to now. But who's currently here at Tibeshne? I don't know, maybe if your name can be there or not, we'll have to... Okay, are there any questions? We'll be leaving at 5, I think. What time was it?
You'll be there by 5.
Okay,
You'll be landing at 7.
okay. Alright, so, well, it doesn't matter, I only see you all once a week. I don't think you're going to miss me in the 3 days. But Nirali, you have to pray harder. Because I'm far, the energy I have to travel all the way to Joga. So the ashram finally made it. The aims and objectives of my constitution has now been almost completed. After the G20, my work is done. But I always say that, I don't know if you remember, Vasan. As soon as I say my work is done,
And mission arrives.
hey, the big O. you don't want to give the Guru any chance. But I'm sure we're going to awaken our continent. So in Sanatana Dharma, it states that you must be loyal to whichever country you stay. Not to your religion, but you must be loyal firstly, and you must obey all the laws of your country. Where am I a Guru? If God placed me in Africa, and Africa is in a huge problem, must I promote sectarian Hinduism, or must I get involved with Africa's problem? Am I not an African?
Yes.
Is my skin not an African skin? What is Indian in my body? Only my DNA. 3 chemicals. How many chemicals? How many chemicals make up the DNA print? 3 or 4 chemicals. That is the only thing that's Indian in my body. This whole skin, everything you see is African because it's from the earth, is it not? You understand? So you think I am justified in my work, in my country and my continent?
Yes.
All of you? Okay. Jai Srimad Narayan.